Hello, my name is Fahad Siadat. I'm the artistic director for the Resonance Collective, and thank you for being here tonight. I'm so thrilled to be hosting this concert with the partnership of the First Congregational Church of Los Angeles, who has not only partnered with us by providing this space and all this logistical infrastructure, but is also the kind of church that is welcoming to a entirely different religion's ceremony into their space and to be able to share with our community. And I'm just very grateful to have this kind of an organization support us in this way. So thank you for that. The Resonance Collective is an organization that looks at the intersection of creative and spiritual practices. And this concert series, the Golden Thread concert series, is specifically a way for us to look at and explore different ideas of what sacred music is and can be. This evening's event is a Balinese temple ceremony, and I want to share a little bit of information about this as a way of contextualizing both what the event is and how you might enter into this experience as a spiritual practice. So let me start by sharing some facts with you about Indonesia. Indonesia is a singular nation state made up of over 17,000 islands. It is one of the largest countries in the world, both by area and by population. There are over 1,300 distinct ethnic groups and over 700 distinct languages. About 80% of the population is Muslim. About 10% is Christian, and the remaining 3 are a variety of religions, mostly Hindu. The island of Bali, however, is 87% or more Hindu. If you are like me, this might interrupt some of your expectations about Indonesia and what Hinduism is in general. As a way of embracing the multifaceted nature of Indonesian identity, the country has adopted the national motto, unity in diversity. It's also a central tenet of a piece that the Resonance Collective is working on, unrelated to Indonesia. It is a simple declaration that despite all differences in its multicultural society, there is a unifying undercurrent binding these various groups into one people. I think this motto also beautifully captures the monotheistic approach to Balinese Hinduism, which contains both a central supreme being and a large pantheon of gods and spirits, all of which represent the various aspects of that one all-encompassing deity. This evening's event is a Balinese Hindu temple ceremony, an event intended to maintain the natural balance of the universe. This sentiment is based in a philosophy called Rua Bineda, which permeates Balinese culture. It is a phrase that essentially means two opposites, and it is a philosophy of embracing both the positive and the negative. The Balinese do not destroy the negative forces, but rather balance them in harmony with the positive. Sometimes this is symbolized in the temple itself by a pair of statues that sit alongside each other, Barong and Rangda. Barong is a mythical beast symbolizing the positive energy, and Rangda is the demon witch symbolizing the negative. Together, they represent the eternal struggle between the opposing forces of the universe, and through their struggle, we find balance. Remember, Balinese Hinduism is ultimately a monotheistic faith. These conflicting energies are part of the same supreme being, a single nature already complete and perfect, a unity in diversity. I think this point is worth sitting with for a moment. The nature of this conflict between Barong and Ragna is not the eventual triumph of good over evil, but instead a harmonious balance between the two in all aspects of our lives. Rua Bineda is a practice of looking at life as it is, understanding that all things come in balance, and that for every joy there is a sorrow, for every triumph, a failure, and that to celebrate one state to excess ignores life's natural ebb and flow. I have worked as a musician in various churches, including this one, for over 10 years. And even in the most open and inviting of them, the leaders would likely balk at placing a statue of the devil in their sanctuaries alongside the usual Christian iconography. And yet, there is something I find deeply calming about this holistic embrace of our entire human nature. Instead of getting caught in the push and pull of our multifaceted, dualistic nature, the physical and the spiritual, the individual and the collective, the inner and the outer, and 1,000 other paradoxical aspects of who we are, we too might try to embrace our own inner complexity, this personal unity in diversity. The temple ceremony is about bringing and embracing both sides of these dualities together and restoring balance and harmony. Specifically, harmony between ourselves and the divine, between ourselves and our environment, and harmony between ourselves and each other. It's this last harmony, the one we establish as a community, where the practice of gamelan seems to fit into the overarching philosophy of Rua Bineda. See, what first attracted me to gamelan is that it felt like a sacred music, even though it's not tied to any specific religious tradition. It might be the cyclical structure of the music or the hypnotic rhythms, the gongs, the rich, frenzied harmonics of the metallic instruments, whatever the reason, gamelan echoed the kind of ancient and timeless sentiment I often associate with spiritual practice. But in Bali, the line between what is sacred and what is secular isn't so clear-cut. So yes, gamelan is used in Islamic and Hindu and even Catholic religious ceremonies, but it's also part of nearly all celebrations, including religious holidays and anniversaries, birth, marriage, death, rites of passage, infusing all of them with an elevated sense of meaning and purpose. Playing together also celebrates the community as a whole, as there are opportunities for everyone to participate, from amateurs to professionals, from children to the elderly. Every aspect of playing is a way to build and maintain mutual care, cooperation, interdependence, primary social values in Bali that are inextricably tied with the spiritual values of group harmony. The very skills required to play gamelan reflect these values. There's no single star status in the music or in the ensemble. It's inherently an ensemble activity, and each part is necessary, making everyone equal. Through gamelan practice, we learn how to unite our thoughts and souls through mutual music making. Even moving these beautiful instruments, because they are so very heavy, requires a coordinated community effort. Gamelan itself becomes a metaphor of unity and diversity, narrowing the focus of a national idea down to the level of the ensemble, allowing each individual to embrace their own role in the group while working together to create something no one person could achieve on their own. And perhaps this metaphor penetrates down to the individual as well, helping us recognize and embrace our myriad nature as one being, already complete and perfect in the unavoidable harmony of the universe.